Okay, we got the Magpies, DJ Bean, Pete Blackburn, What Chaos podcast, joining us from Sunrise, Florida. Said Miami earlier. It's Sunrise. What's that Panthers arena called again? Nationwide. What is it?
Amarant Bank. It was also the BB&T, Florida Live. It's had 6 names.
Okay. Either way, that's where they're at. Give me a couple Bruins thoughts here. You think this Linus Ullmark trade is going to happen to Ottawa? What's the latest?
You'd think so. I mean, there's kind of running out of dance partners there, isn't he? Markstrom goes to the Devils. Kemper goes to the Kings. Not that I think that was necessarily an attractive choice for him, but at some point, and I love this player, if he wants to get another deal, which is his want, like you got to take one of these deals. I'm not going to be crazy about this return. I think people are unaware who Jacob Chychrun is. That was a little douchey of me, but he's just not a very good player. You're not going to get a ton for him, but what are you going to pay that much money to goalies? I think something like this happens.
I think no matter what happens, the Bruins fans are going to be disappointed by the return. And I've seen the Chychrun stuff. I don't love Jacob Chychrun. I wouldn't bank on that. But I also think you got to look at, you've probably got like 3 teams that you can deal him to at this point based off of goalie need and based off of where he may or may not want to go. I don't think they have a ton of leverage in when whatever deal they're going to trade him in.
So you don't think the first round pick coming back from Ottawa is on the table?
Not that 7th pick, definitely not.
No.
25th pick is fine, but like a 25th pick might as well be an early 3rd round pick. And you know how the NHL draft is.
No, I'd be thrilled with a late first round pick. Are you kidding me?
Definitely.
I thought they were going to get nothing for him. I would have dealt him for nothing just to clear the money. Now you get
clear the $5 million for the reigning Vezina. The Vezina has not been awarded yet, and he was good this past season too. Like, we're getting crazy with the people are acting like he's like an albatross.
I mean,
here.
You can hang on to him and deal him at the deadline too. Like if you hold on to him and you can get a deal from a team that's very desperate.
Guys,
what the hell is wrong with you two?
We were just talking.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
You and goalies.
You know who's about to win the Stanley Cup? Stuart Skinner, who sucks.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
you know who won?
Awesome. 2nd round pick, advantage Shirelli.
You know who won the Stanley Cup last year? A guy who's
Aiden Hill, our guy,
barely in the league. Who won the Stanley Cup the year before that? Kemper.
Darcy Kemper.
Who I think
the goal is to have a bad goalie. That's correct. Okay,
stinks. All I'm trying to say is, why do you overspend a net when all these ham and eggers are the ones that are winning the Stanley Cup? Do you think maybe the position is getting overvalued, overpaid?
It's getting overvalued, and there's one thing to not want to overspend, but paying Linus Ullmark $5 million is not an overpay for anybody.
Agreed.
You having multiple goalies who are making a lot of money, that becomes an overpay, but that doesn't mean that this is an asset that you need to just relinquish.
No. I agree. To the point where, you know what? If I get better than Chychrun, if I get a real return, I trade the other guy. And I keep Linus Ullmark for $5 million, who's actually probably a good price right now. That's actually good value for him in $5 million. I bring up the kid from Providence. I let him play it out for a year and see what happens. I don't overspend in net because there's just too many examples of journeyman or run-of-the-mill goalies winning Stanley Cups. Why would you pay Bobrovsky 10 when you can pay Skinner? What does he make? 4? Something like that, probably.
Skinner, I think, is still on his entry-level deal, so he's making like $1 million.
I think he's on his entry-level deal.
He's got 25.
Deal. I'd say though, like to argue the point that you can win with a mediocre or average goaltender, you need to have a great team. A great team can win with a good goaltender, and a good team can win with a great goaltender. But you can't have a good element of both. You just can't.
I understand. The Bruins aren't good enough to get away with mediocre goaltending. But
they got to move one of those goalies. I'm not waiting until the trade deadline. No way.
But no one can win with mediocre goaltending. But you just hope that. Well, I mean, it's not that. It's just you don't need to spend through the nose to get good goaltending in the postseason. That's what I've come to learn. Or championship caliber goaltending to win in the postseason. You just don't need to do it. And it feels like
I would agree with that.
The teams that do it usually aren't the ones standing. Although Florida, we'll see. Go ahead, quickly.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, I mean, like, literally the other Cup finalist is paying their goalie $10 million a year, but we're also talking about what an average goaltender he's become in the postseason, so that also makes you for him.
What's a dream offseason for the Bruins? A realistic dream offseason for the Bruins?
centers, plural, that would be very good. Elias Lindholm, depending on what number he comes in on, is fine. I think, and I don't know if you guys have been doing much of this, I think the Leon Draisaitl stuff is the pipe dream of all pipe dreams. Maybe we've been talking to too many Edmonton people, but like the assumption is he just goes back there on huge money on an 8-year deal. So if you're going to free agency, Lindholm, Pete?
Yeah, I think Lindholm is the best guy available in terms of down the middle, unless you're getting real creative in a trade. I also want to see them improve size on the back end, both bottom six and on the defensive pair. I want to see them improve that third pair, and you got to get some big size nastiness on the bottom six that can actually play. No disrespect to Pat Maroon, but trying to address that need with a guy like Pat Maroon is not going to win you a championship. It's just not.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, boys. We appreciate it.
Hey, can I just quickly, Murray, who are you pulling for in this game? It has to be the Oilers, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funnier, though, if they do all of this and then disappoint a whole nation of Canadians that are like, oh, we finally got it after 30 years. And then they're all sad. So I don't know. What I wanted to ask you, what the hell are they thinking down there having Roberto Luongo bang the drum? Did you see this?
Really weird move. It's not a good move.
Yeah.
You think?
Given, let's say, the track record, not amazing. And especially, like, when your goalie is melting down over the course of a series. Like, it's too reminiscent.
And Bob had that shutout in game one. The last guy who had a shutout in game one of the Stanley Cup Final was Roberto Luongo. How did that turn out for them?
Not great.
Too many parallels here.
Yeah, DJ, you know what's going to happen in about 5 years? Edmonton's going to invite back Stuart Skinner to bang the drum right after he craps his pants tonight.
I mean, Mazz, I have to say, Mazz, you're doing the right thing by staying the course, because if you bail now and he does end up stinking in game 7, what fun is that? Right. You got to go down with the ship. You got to keep saying he sucks and blows. It's good behavior on your part.
Stuart Skinner.
Catch these guys on What Chaos podcast, wherever podcasts are found. Thanks, fellas.
Love you, boys. Bye.
Okay, coming up next, I got one more hockey thought, and we'll get to your phones, too. 617-779-0985. You want to hang on from our Kendrick Perkins discussion? By all means. Want to weigh in anything Bruins offseason related? By all means. I'd trade Jeremy Swayman. If I get a better return, I get Linus Ullmark, $5 million in net. For all intents and for all I know, the Boosie kid wins the job by the end of the year. I go with him. I'm not afraid of the next goalie. You can't be afraid of the next goalie.
The idea of holding on to both of those guys until the trade deadline to me is preposterous.
Oh, forget about that.
Preposterous.
I don't think that's in the cards. You can weigh in on that if you want. And yeah, I think there's 2 targets on this program that are I consistently target. One is nerds and analysts and all this. And we scratched that itch earlier.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Bruins analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.